Hello, and welcome to the BMC Quick Course Series. My name is Michael Cotignola, and I am a software consultant based in our Montreal, Canada office. In this session, we will introduce BMC's Next Generation Technology Utility Manager for DB2 on z/OS. Utility Manager can be used to automate the running of BMC's NGT utilities for DB2, primarily NGT reorg, but copy and stats as well. Utility Manager will determine which objects require maintenance at runtime and take corrective actions based on the thresholds that you have established for your DB2 applications. Invoking Utility Manager in your NGT utilities is very simple and easy. Just add the RTS keyword in your existing NGT utility sysIN, reorg in this case, and you have now automated the reorg process for your application. In this example, all the table spaces in DBase application, with the exception of table space 09, will be organized if the DB2 real-time statistics indicate that the object needs reorganization. Simply run a reorg every day or several times a day if your application update cycles warrant it. The only objects that need processing will get processed. If you submit an entire database reorg, maybe only one index might get reorganized based on the real-time stats and the performance thresholds that you have established. You waste no CPU cycles on unnecessary reorgs, and more importantly, applications are not subject to degraded performance, missed SLAs, and DB2 processing is improved overall. BMC's NGT Utility Manager uses BMC NGT Utility Manager uses DB2 real-time statistics with no JCL generation to be able to manage your DB2 data simply and effectively, keeping your DB2 applications running optimally at all times. 3 simple tables determine at utility runtime what maintenance is required based on the values in the DB2 real-time statistics and the associated thresholds that you have established for Utility Manager. In addition to the thresholds, there are facilities that govern what maintenance is required based on specific objects and/or specific application windows. The 3 simple tables that are used to govern BMC Utility Manager and the DB2 maintenance process are the criteria table, the schedule table, and the exception table. The exception and schedule tables are not mandatory and most likely will not be used in many situations. These 2 tables are to create overrides or to limit the time of day which an object can be processed. The 3rd table, the criteria table, is where the RTS thresholds values are provided. It is these thresholds that determine what maintenance is required and can be set to adhere to your specific DB2 and/or application requirements. The exception table allows you to force or exclude criteria which would override processing. If the object and conditions are met here, no further evaluation for the object would take place and the object would be excluded from processing or included regardless of RTS statistics. By using the where clause feature of the exception table, the exception can be time-based or based on other environmental things such as who ran the utility. The schedule table allows you to specify a window or multiple windows in time when processing a tablespace or group of tablespaces can be started. This is best shown with an example. Assume that the transaction detail table is not to be reorganized between close of business and the settlement service level agreement. So we provide a row for all parts of the tablespace trans for reorg to exclude every day of the week between 5 and 9 p.m. With this record, in the Utility Manager criteria table, if any reorg which uses Utility Manager attempts to start a reorganization of the trans table between 5 and 9, The trans table will just be excluded with a warning message. The criteria table allows you to specify the RTS thresholds to trigger processing of a tablespace or tablespace partition or index partition. BMC Utility Manager criteria table goes beyond RTS values to trigger processing based on a tablespace status or environmental conditions such as advisory reorg pending. Where clauses can be specified on each criteria record to create a custom criteria. This custom criteria can combine RTS thresholds with and/or logic or override the base criteria, for example, to exclude extremely small table spaces even though RTS shows them to be disorganized. The criteria table is initially populated with two records, a tablespace record and an index record, and the associated thresholds for each. In some cases, these are the only records needed to manage your entire DB2 environment. To summarize, BMC NGT Utility Manager analyzes and processes objects in real time with no JCL generation. This makes for easy, seamless integration with your job scheduler. Simple JCL will trigger BMC Utility Manager at runtime to evaluate what objects need processing. A couple of simple records, as we saw in the previous slide in the criteria table, are all that is needed to manage this process. Resources are not wasted on unnecessary reorganizations, and applications run at peak efficiency because they are always processing organized data. Another useful feature of Utility Manager is the report-only function. By utilizing this capability, you can get a report of all the objects that require a reorg, and this allows you to plan the scheduling of the reorg job accordingly. Thank you for your time. For more information on any of BMC's mainframe products, please visit the URL shown here.